Good morning, everyone. So it is 22nd May, and today we are going to start our civics portion. Very first chapter which we are going to start today is chapter number 25, that is democracy. And in democracy, we will read about its elements and functioning of democracy. What are the important elements of democracy and how democracy functions? So, there are many topics which we will cover in this chapter, and one of them is universal adult franchise. Today we will complete this topic only. First of all, before starting the class, the chapter only, we should know what is democracy, because that is the only topic, main topic. What is democracy? So democracy is a system of government by the whole population or by the representatives of the society. It means rule of the people. A state or a state or a country where rule of public or rule of people is there. No monarchy system and no any other kind of government is there. The government which is made by the people of the country, that rules the country. This is called democracy. According to Abraham Lincoln, there is a phrase given by him: democracy is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. In democracy, supreme power is in the hands of the public or people. So, when we listen the word democracy, the question comes into our mind: what is the origin of the word democracy? From where we get this word? Where this word come into existence? So, the origin of democracy is from a Greek word, that is demos, kratia. Demos means the people and kratia means power ya rule. So, when we combine these two words, later on in French it becomes democracy. After so many reforms, this democratia that came into existence as democracy. So, democracy, I have told you that it is the rule of the people in a country. There are certain institutions of democracy which need to be there to enhance the democracy in a country, so that the democracy can function properly. And what are these institutions? Let us see. First of all is enlightened citizens. Enlightened citizens, it does not mean that the people should be graduated or they must hold some degree, but it means that in their solid state of mind, the people could relate themselves to the political conditions of the country, and they can understood what is going on in the country. Is that good for the public welfare or it is bad for the public? So the citizens, they could identify the good leaders, and at the time of elections, these enlightened citizens, they should vote the right person. They can oppose a government which is not working properly, and they can spread awareness in other persons also, and they can solid enough to take the responsible decisions. In a big country like India, where the population is at a, you can say, disastrous place, almost 135 crores people are there in India. All of them cannot directly govern the country, so they have to elect their political leaders to represent them in the legislature. And elections are the important part of this, because the whole population have to elect their leaders, and for this election for this elected procedure, elections are needed. In elections, some people whom the public chooses, or they can come forward to become the leaders of the public. So political awareness is a term. It means the people or the public, they should have political awareness. It means the citizens with more resources and higher thinking ability. All the public is not of the same kind, na? So some persons are there who have more resources than others and have higher thinking ability also. And this leads to specific forms of political inequality. Means some people, they have interest in politics of the nation, and some who are not interested, or they have least interest. So there is a kind of inequality. Such people are also the most politically active citizens. And these politically active citizens, later on, they you can say they provide themselves to the public as their representative, so the public can choose them to govern the country. Okay, voters, you know that voters are not easily influenced. The enlightened voters especially, they are not easily influenced by the promises made by the candidates at the time of election, or they are not easily influenced by the muscle power or the man power or the money power. Means ना तो उन्हें खरीदा जा सकता है, ना उन्हें डराया जा सकता है. इस तरह से कुछ जो लोग होते हैं, they are called enlightened citizens. Means they have knowledge what they have to choose, why they are choosing that, and what is the benefit they will get from that what they have chosen. So this is all about enlightened citizens. Now second institution is solid public opinion. This word public opinion means what is the opinion of the whole society. This is called public opinion. Public opinion consists of the desires, wants, and thinking of the majority of the people in the society. Or you can say it is a collective opinion of a society or a state on an issue or problem. किसी एक पर्टिकुलर प्रॉब्लम या इशू पर पूरी सोसाइटी का जो एक मत होता है, that is called public opinion. Public opinion is the measure of what the public thinks about a particular problem. It may not include opinion of whole population, but opinion of majority of the population. It is not possible that everyone must be, you can say, everyone must be in the favor of something. Means if some problem is there, so some people are in favor of that thing and some people are against that. So it is not necessary that everyone have to be favor in that thing. But if majority of people is in favor of that thing, it means it is the public opinion. Elections and representatives are two key elements or tools in indirect democracy. Indirect democracy means the democracy in which the whole population is not running the country. They choose their representatives, and these representatives, these candidates, they form the laws and orders and run the country. This is called indirect democracy. So as public opinion matters much during election and choosing representative, as it reflects the will of all people. And the solid basic opinion is much responsible or necessary in the efficiently running process of democracy. Okay, now come to the third institution, that is Universal Adult Franchise, UAF. It is the short form of it, and the full form is Universal Adult Franchise. It means a right to vote should be given to all adult citizens without discrimination who are at the age of 18 or who have gained their age of 18, without any discrimination on the basis of caste, color, religion, or even sex. In some countries, that females are not allowed to vote to choose their representative. But in India, this type of system is not there. Here, no discrimination for right to vote. All people, whether he is a labor or he is a king or he is an entrepreneur, he is a employee, he is working in an industry, all people, whether he is a female or male, all of them has the right to vote. The condition is there that the person should be of 18 years or above 18. Second condition is the person should not committed any criminal offences. And the third is the person should be in solid state of mind. It means अनसाउंड माइंड उस आदमी का नहीं होना चाहिए, मतलब मेंटली रिटार्डेड नहीं होना चाहिए वो. If a person has committed any criminal offense or he or she is in unsound mind, then they are not allowed to vote. These are two conditions. And if he or she is not of 18 years, the minors, they are also not allowed to vote. So this is the condition of universal adult franchise. An important principle of UAF or universal adult franchise is one person, one vote. This is important principle. Means every person can give only one vote, not more than one. Everyone is equal in the respect of right to vote, whether he is poor, rich, educated, illiterate, man, woman, whatever. All of them has the right to vote. So this is our universal adult franchise. Tomorrow we will continue with other institutions of democracy. That's all for today. If you have any doubt, you can call me or text me. I'm always there for you. So till now, thank you and have a nice day.